Hey y'all, hey, it's Coffee with Friends, and I am raw to the bone. Good morning, Stacy. Good morning. Happy Friday, y'all. We made it. We made it to Friday. Okay, I had to throw a shirt on because, good morning, Mr. Jerry Robinson. I had to throw a shirt on because, my boobs was really, really out. The exercise top was only covering just a little bit. All right, so I had to throw something on so that I could look a little bit presentable. Happy Friday, y'all. Listen, I be waiting for Friday. I don't know why, because Monday comes around just as fast. But I'm glad to see y'all. And I'm glad to be seen. I just finished my workout, rode my bike, did my yoga. One of the things that I do after I do yoga is I pray, right? And I know I do when I wake up in the morning. I thank God for opening my eyes and giving me my capacities. But I go into a little deeper prayer after yoga because, I'm so grateful for the fact that I'm here. I have the capacities to do what I need to do. And, I pray for the strength to remain committed to my mental and my physical health, right? As well as I pray for my loved ones and my friends to strive in this life through their trials and tribulations, right? Because they are our blessings and our lessons. And we will always come through dark and into the light. We just have to have faith. We have to have trust in the process, okay? And so that is my message this morning, okay? What are we talking about this Friday besides getting into our personal, our positive read for the day from the month of acceptance? Something I mentioned yesterday when we were talking about the P. Diddy trial, and I said people were focusing on the fact that they're talking to Cassie and focusing on the domestic violence aspect of it. But didn't I mention yesterday that there's two groups that made complaints that were a part of making the band Day 26 and Danity Kane, right? Why did I scroll through social media, okay, last night and see that Dawn, who is one of the members of Danity Kane, is scheduled to take the stand? I think they said today. Now, I know Cassie is still on the stand, so I don't know if they're going to do Cassie in the morning and Dawn in the afternoon. But I did say, thank you, Stacy. Order my body butter. Listen, I've been using my body butter that I make for 10 plus years. That's all I use on my skin. I make my own body oil. I don't sell the oil because people don't want to pay the price for the oil. And I use really good oils in my oil mix. Okay. I do make it for Maria because, she's my homegirl and she always treats me special. And so when she asks me for oil, I give her oil. All right. But I do an oil routine right after I come out the shower. And then I throw my body butter on to seal in the moisture. See the skin? Listen, I don't know about y'all, but y'all need to be placing your orders for my body butter. I'm telling you. Okay, I have not been advertising it as aggressively as I used to because I'm a one-man band and I do all the blending myself and I use all natural and organic products. And so this is the result. All right. Don't say I never told y'all nothing. All right. Al B. Shore is also testifying. He said he was happy to do so. Yes, he did. I also mentioned that yesterday in our conversation. So people, just hold on to your seats because there's much, much, much more to come for this case. Okay. It really, really is. And the sad thing about all of this, we're focusing on Diddy, we're focusing on Cassie, we're focusing on Al B. Shore and all the people, all the adults that's involved in possibly testifying. But these poor families that are attached to these people whose names are being thrown around, right? I pray for these children, right, that have to read about their parents, their aunts, and their uncles, and how they were a part of this freak off and shit like that. I know for damn sure these adults didn't expect for this to get out. And so, let's pray for the trauma that's being released on the families and the children of these people that's involved with this case. Okay, because oftentimes we forget about that part. Okay, oftentimes we forget about that part. Anybody got any exciting plans for the weekend? I don't have any exciting plans, right? I do need to go get waxed. TMI. I need to wax my chin. That's not TMI. But I need to do my Brazilian wax. So I do need to call and make an appointment for her to go down there and rip some shit off. Okay? I'm just saying. All right. So I got to go and I got to take care of that. So I'm going to call today, make my appointment, and get waxed because the last time I waited entirely too long and that shit hurt like the first time. I think I almost waited too long this time. So it might hurt like the first time. But I'm going to tell you, waxing has changed my life. Let me tell you how I feel. This is really TMI. How I feel after a good wax session. First of all, I go to the wax session with a dress on with no panties because why bother wearing panties to go get waxed? I hate the fact that you got to walk in there, take your panties off in front of the person in the room. It's just something uncomfortable about that for me. So for me, I just lift my dress up, jump on the table and spread my legs open and be like, go ahead, okay? And it's been the best experience for me because as soon as I get my wax, ooh, the air that hits that coochie, I just be looking for reasons to walk around outside with no underwear. I just be like, woo, 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 woo. So now when I see those commercials of women just getting waxed and acting free and feeling free, I know exactly what it feels like for this past year and some change that I've been getting waxed. Baby, it's a free feeling, and that's the day for no panties, okay? Also, some of the things that they tell you after you get waxed, after you have a Brazilian wax, you should not do things like wear tight clothes. You should like leggings and shit like that. You got to let your nanny breathe. You shouldn't ride your bike because it irritates your nanny after a wax. You shouldn't have sex. All these things should be on hold for 24 hours. I don't always listen, but I try to listen for the most part, okay? And so don't say I never gave y'all no advice. Don't be rocking around with that coochie after a fresh Brazilian wax. Give it 24 hours. Men, you too, for the men that go and get their peens waxed. Same thing. Okay? Now let me start y'all off with the morning positive vibes because wake up, damn it. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, wake up, y'all. It's Friday. Everybody just do your thing. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. 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 Hey. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do. The aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up. Today is a good message, y'all. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. 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 Today's gonna be a good day. Life ain't easy, yo. I think there's a reason, though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. You always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison. Negative thoughts. And full of flies, okay? They will poison you. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Hey, what? Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken. I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. So flow, you grow, you show yourself the foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. Stay away. Know that I like to do it because I get the hell out the way. My life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man. I take it. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Hey! Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. And it is, y'all. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Hey, that's just a reminder to wake up. Today's going to be a good day. Even when you wake up with some trials and tribulations on your heart and on your mind, keep in mind that the fact that you woke up, it's going to be a good day because you got another opportunity to get that shit right. That's how I look at life. You have another opportunity to get shit right, okay? And we are in the month of acceptance, and today is a good message. Yesterday, we talked about blocking ourselves from receiving more by holding on to things that we are afraid of letting go of, right? Because we don't think that we can get any better. That's called settling for less. That's called being in situations because you don't have the self-esteem to look at yourself and love yourself enough to move out of situations that are not serving you, okay? And I'm not judging you. I'm not, because I used to be that person. And so today I value myself to a point where I'm not staying in rooms, okay, in the presence of people that do not align with what I have going on in my life. I'm not going to entertain people where I feel like I'm settling for less. I do not want to be the smartest person in the room, so I don't want any dumb friends. I mean, I'm just saying, at this age in my life, right, we should have come through with all of our experiences, right? And we should be the elders. Did I say that right? Right? We should be moving with intention. We should be leading by example. All right. And when I stumble across people my age and they still doing fuck shit, I'll be like, bye, I'm exiting the other way. Right? I just don't entertain it anymore. Right? And so that's just my little tidbit for you based on yesterday's message. Stop holding on to things because you're afraid to let them go. You'll be surprised what letting them go will do for your life. Them meaning the situations. Okay. And so today is May 16th. Okay. Oh my God, we're already at May 16th. We're almost at June, y'all. May 16th. Okay. And we are still in the month of acceptance. And today's message, is another good one. All right. And so let me get into that so that people can start their Friday however they want to start their Friday. Okay. Although I wish that I was in a hot, sunny place where there was some beach and some white sand, I really, I don't know. It's like I be fighting with myself not to be disappointed because I have not booked another trip this year yet. And I'm fighting with myself because, in a good way, because I want to be disciplined enough to stop jumping on these planes and take care of other things in my life that I need to take care of. Okay. I keep running on vacation because, I just want to enjoy my life. That's what I want to do. But I got to slow down a little bit. All right. May 16th, we are in the month of acceptance. And here is the message today. And you tell me how you feel about this message. Good morning, Blissfully Evolving. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Friday to you. I am now receptive to the idea that whenever I see a hole, I am to move around it. Whenever I see a hole, I need to move around it. What do you think that means? Whenever I see a hole, I need to move around it. Somebody left you. And now there is a gaping hole in the middle of your soul. The question is, how are you going to fill that hole? Are you going to fill it with painful memories of how you got hurt or left? Or are you going to fill it with memories of the many moments of joy and laughter you had together? Are you going to fill the hole with anger, resentment, fear, shame directed towards the one who left? Or are you going to fill the hole with appreciation that you do have an opportunity to choose how you are going to fill the hole? Are you going to fill the hole with countless reasons why it should not have happened to you? Or are you going to fill it with courage it will take to accept that it did happen to you in this way? Pausing. It's so funny that this message reads like this, because how many times in a relationship, good morning, Brandilla, how many times in a relationship, somebody left you or there's a breakup, right? And you sit in that sorrow and you start asking yourself, why is this happening to me? Why does this happen? Why did he or she do this to me? And then you start building up this resentment, right? You're filling up that gaping hole with all this negative energy. And this message today it says, instead of filling up that gaping hole with woes and woes, okay, fill it up with some positive shit, some appreciation to know that, yes, you have a gaping hole, but you also have the opportunity to decide how you're going to fill this hole. Are you going to fill the hole with at least 1 ounce of confidence that you can handle this, whatever it takes? Or are you going to fill the hole with self-defeating belief that you can't or will not make it through or over this hole? How many times have you felt defeated about a situation? Something has happened to you and you felt completely defeated. I touched on it yesterday. One of the worst experiences in my life was my son doing time in jail. And that gaping hole, I filled it with anger, disappointment, questions, and I ended up on Zoloft until I decided to change my mindset and say, you know what? This is a bump in the road. We're going to get over it. We're going to rock through this. And I tried to put a more positive spin on it. And that's how I was able to take myself off of the antidepressants and move forward in my life by filling that hole up with what I believed would be a positive outcome in the future. I decided how to fill that hole. Are you going to empty all of your self-value, self-worth, and self-esteem into the hole until it becomes a pit of self-pity, self-doubt, and self-inflicted nonsense that keeps you in a hole of despair? Or are you going to throw yourself into the hole in dear life to try and move you? Baby, I've been throwing myself in holes left and right with my boxing gloves on, talking about, come on, life. I got you. You can cover the hole with love and prayer and acceptance of your ability to step over or walk around the hole. You can also step back, take a little break, wait to see the self that emerges from the hole. The choice is yours. How many of you are dealing in situations where you feel a sense of emptiness? You feel a sense of despair. You're asking yourself a million questions. Why has this happened to me? How many of you are in that situation right now? Until today, you may have believed that you had to stay in a painful hole of hurt caused by the loss of a loved one. Just for today, make a conscious effort and choice to cover the hole and move on. Today, I'm devoted to covering the holes and filling in all the gaps in my life. Wow. What gaps are in your life that you need to cover right now? Are you battling with something that is taking your mental state down this hole in a negative way? Or have you navigated through your life and learned through your trials and tribulations that you don't have to drop into these holes? You can walk right over them, right around them. And you could choose how to fill these holes, what to fill these holes with. And I'm not saying we're not supposed to feel despair, right? Feeling despair and living in despair is two different things. It's two different things. And and I guess that's why for me, and again, I've mentioned it on my show before, that there are people in my life that get so irritated with me because I do not live in despair. No matter what's going on in my life, I have moments. I don't live in despair. I have moments of despair. If something is bothering me, I talk about it for that moment. I try to work through it and I navigate my life. I do not step into that hole and try to live in that despair. Because when I was in that hole, living in despair, I felt lost. I felt weak. It was dark. And I felt hopeless and helpless. And I did not have the strength to get myself out of the hole. I had to change my mindset. I had to change my mindset to say, get your shit together. There's a whole life out there. You deserve more. You deserve better. Things that are happening in your life are sometimes beyond your control. I had to learn that, right? Because I was that person that blamed myself for all of my son's negative outcomes. I blamed myself, right? Because in society, the first thing they do is say, who fucking mother raised you? Right? They don't say who fucking father raised you. They be like, who fucking mother raised you? Who the fuck is this person's mother? And that's all that was ringing in my head. And I knew I was a good mom, but they had me second guessing. Right? Until I took control of my life and learned that I didn't have to step in these holes. So if you have a situation going on in your life right now that has you in a stuck position in despair and filled with questions, hopefully this message resonates with you. Whenever I see a hole, I am to move around it. You decide how you're going to fill that hole. Good morning, Georgie. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, Georgie. Wait a minute. You just brought a hole in here. I'm going through it with my kids. She done ran away, pushed teachers, jumped off the roof, and shit all since February. Georgie, I've never heard you complain about your kids. Never. I am shocked. Like, you have never complained about your kids other than you can't wait to drive down the highway to drop them off for the summer or something, right? You've never complained about your kids. As far as I can remember, your children were always good students. Why did she run away? Well, I'm glad she came back and I'm glad she's safe. But why did she run away? Why is something is going on. She done ran away. She pushed the teacher. She jumped off a roof. What is happening? See, sometimes we're so quick to punish our children when they do these things. But sometimes it's something else. It's something bigger. What is driving her to act this way? Right. The mouthy thing you have mentioned before, but not to this extreme. Mouthy, I can understand because I'm not trying. I love you, Georgie, but you her mama. You her mama. So the mouthy shit she got naturally. Wait up. I've been there. I found him and sent her to her room, took her stuff before I could talk to her. She was gone. He was hiding in your house. Where in your house did you find him? Oh my God. Where in your house did you find this boy? How old is your daughter again? Oh Lord. I'm going to pray for you, Georgie, because how old is she? Anybody got any advice for Georgie? Because she sounded like she need to go back down the highway with her dad. In the laundry room. We left for like 2 hours. Oh my God, she's 16? Anybody got any advice for Georgie? Because this is a tough one, right? I know what it's like raising teenagers that are rough, okay? And but I don't know. I don't know if I got any advice for this. Like, what's the advice? Like, is she on punishment? Like, what was the recourse to this, Georgie? That after you found the guy in the house and she ran away or whatever. What's the recourse now that she's back? What is the recourse to all of this? How does this get fixed? Oh, Will found him. What did Will say to the guy? I'm nosy. You really need to come on the show and tell us. Damn it. I can't keep asking all these questions. I need to hear the story. Fuck. Because I want to know what you say to her and what was the recourse. I mean, I remember when my son used to go out and it would pass a certain time of night. I couldn't sleep. My stomach was hurting. Oh my God. These kids will drive you nuts. He wanted to kill everyone. Oh God. Well, we're going to pray for you, Georgie, that things, get better in the house with the teenager. You have a ways to go. Teenage life is not for the weak, all right? And we know that you're not weak, Georgie, so I'm pretty sure you'll be able to handle whatever is coming your way and what has already come your way, okay? Nobody on here seems to have advice for you, but I'm sure we're all going to pray for you for a good outcome. Because at this point, I'm sniffing that she's having sex. So I'm hoping that the conversation with her around sex has occurred. And, she knows to use condoms and stuff like that. Come on, Cheryl Lee, with the advice. This too shall pass. She is at one of those selfish ages. They will test the water and try to claim their independence, but can't afford to buy their next meal. So true. I told dude to leave. We tried to, among ourselves, figure out how to calmly handle the situation. Then we realized she was going to file a police report. Wait a minute. She was going to file a police report, but she had somebody in y'all. These kids got nerve. These kids have nerve. She was going to file a police report. Oh my God. I have never called the cops on my mama. Like, that wasn't a thing when I was growing up. Because I remember one time I threatened to call the cops on my mama. And she said, I'm going to beat your ass anyway. And when you call the cops, just know that we both leaving the house. I'm going to jail and you going to a group home. And I was like, that's not how I want this to work. She was like, well, then take this ass whipping. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Like, I'm not trying to go nowhere. It's not my fault. Oh, okay. She's having sex. She's on birth control. Okay. Took her for a mental evaluation after she got back. You know what? I know some people are going to say that is harsh, Georgie, but you know what? We talk about all the time on this show about your mental and your physical state being healthy, right? And we assume that everybody has their mental capacities, right? And that's why I say when you said she jumped and she hit a teacher and she did all of this stuff, what else is going on? So kudos to you as a mom, right? Who does not see it embarrassing, okay, to take your child for a mental evaluation, because you know what? It could be something going on where she might need therapy. Something could happen to her. She could be in a rebellion state for whatever reason, and it might not have anything to do with you. You know, I find that teenagers go through a lot of changes in high school, right? And mainly I see that I didn't have the full experience of high school because I was already pregnant at 15. And so my high school experience was not the normal high school experience. So I get, like, from other people telling me about their kids in high school and from watching series and shit on TV, it seems like these teenagers go through a lot of shit in high school, right? I didn't know that a lot of teenagers carried the weight that they carry based on what I see. Blissfully said, wait, she actually just came from a 5-day stay. Oh, they kept her for 5 days? I thought they only keep you for 3 days. Oh, Lord. They kept her for 5 days? Was it the weekend? Okay. Okay. So this is all making sense. She has suffered depression since 2017. This is all making sense. She stayed in the hospital in 2018. Okay, so this is making sense. Okay, well, Georgie, it seems like you're on top of it. And so again, I'm going to continue to pray for you and your strength during these times, right? Hopefully, you know, when she gets in her 20s and her 30s, these are things that you could look back on and go, remember when you were acting crazy? And you can giggle at it. But right now, I know it must be a very trying time for you. And so keep your head up, all right? And remember what we just read, okay? You see a hole, you can move around it. Decide how you want to fill that hole. Do not let this situation pull you into despair, pull you into depression, okay? You still need to navigate through it the best way you can. She cuts and does other self-harm when she gets in trouble or stressed. Oh, yeah. You're not the first one that was a part of Coffee with Friends whose child was a cutter. And so I'm going to say this with love. I thought that was just white shit until someone else told me that their child was cutting. And I'm like, Black people do that? Not that cutting, you know, is a race thing, but I never had any personal experiences with, you know, any of my friends or people that I've known that their children cut. Now, maybe that's something that they just don't talk about. And that's what I appreciate about Coffee with Friends. Good morning, Hillbilly. I appreciate about Coffee with Friends because you guys come on here and you tell stuff that you don't have to tell. And this is on the internet. But you know what? The reason why this is good is because so many people out here in the world are going through similar situations. And a lot of people are hiding those situations because they want to portray their lives as being perfect. And the reason why it's good for us to talk about these things on Coffee with Friends is because sharing our experiences gives others comfort that they are not alone. And it also gives them hope that they will be able to overcome. And so I really do appreciate you guys for coming on here and sharing some of your most personal and private moments. That is really none of our business. But when you are trying to heal, this is what therapy is about, right? I'm not a therapist, I'm not a life coach, but when you go to therapy, you talk to a therapist, you just talk. They don't tell you how to fix your life. They don't tell you anything. They just give you guidance. All right. And I find that Coffee with Friends is one method of some sort of therapy, even though it's not professional therapy. At least you get to come on here and you get to talk about those things and you get support. All right. And so I appreciate you guys on here for not judging, listening, giving feedback when people are having difficult times, and just being there genuinely for each other, right? We can love up on each other without knowing each other for long periods of time. Okay. We could do that. Blissfully said, couldn't be charged with neglect. She may benefit from therapy. Has she found one yet? Sometimes it takes time to find one who you can relate to and feel comfortable exposing and being vulnerable to. I agree with that. I still have not found a therapist because I'm in litigation and therapy seems to not want to touch me. And so, my last therapy experience, it wasn't comfortable for me because I was not allowed to be completely vulnerable because certain things she didn't want me to talk about. And I was like, that's not therapy for me. Okay. Good morning, mother. That's not therapy for me. So I just pray that my litigation is over sooner than later so that I can continue in my healing journey by onboarding therapy without having to be told they don't want to talk about my litigation. Okay. Because that's a part of my stress and I want to be able to talk about it. So it doesn't seem like I'll be able to do that until after litigation is over. Then I'll be able to talk about how I felt through it. Okay. Of course, Georgie, we're always here for you. What do you mean? What you mean? What you mean? So, Mother, how was therapy yesterday? So, Mother and her knee replacement, she's doing really, really well. I know a lot of you guys on here asked me about her and how she's doing, and she's doing better than I expected. She's probably doing better than she expected, okay? The scar on her knee looks good. She's moving around. She's going to physical therapy. And so I don't know, Mother. Are you anxious and ready to do the next leg? Georgie said, been in therapy, one that comes to the school she likes, and they will work with her virtually over the summer. Okay. Okay, so you have a plan. And I love that. Okay. I love that. I love that. And I'm sure, Georgie, the father has been informed that this has happened, right? Because sometimes the mothers take on all this burden and shit and try to carry the weight by themselves. See, my baby daddy was dead. So I couldn't call his ass. He's in Arlington Cemetery. I couldn't call his ass for any help. Good morning, Nakia. And so, Georgie, being that you do have the children's father around, call that motherfucker and let him know what's going on because you shouldn't have to carry this weight by yourself. So, y'all, Chris Brown is locked up in London. Anybody bought Chris Brown tickets? Y'all going to see Chris Brown in concert? Hopefully his concert won't get disrupted. The thing that I don't understand is, motherfucker, you knew that you slapped somebody across the head in 2023 with a bottle in London. And so you had to know that they were looking for you. Why would his team still arrange for him to go to London? Even if he wanted to go to London, shouldn't his team have said, listen, mother effer, you don't have smacked somebody over the head in 2023. As soon as we get to the London hotel, the po-po going to be waiting for you. And when I read the article, it said the police came to his hotel. See? Why would you go to London knowing that you had an open issue? And as of this morning, they're saying he's still being held. So I don't know. Are they not going to give him bail? Can he not bail himself out? I don't know how it work over there in London. The fuck? But if any of y'all got Chris Brown tickets, I would be checking my concert dates and seeing what's going on. Okay? Georgie said he dropped her back home in the middle of the night without a call. Oh, yes. Yes, I remember that. I remember that. That's good advice, Shirley. Make sure you have the therapist on speed dial. Yes, that is a good one. That's a good note to have. That's a good note to have. That's some good advice. I have to wait while I'm on blood thinners. You have to wait for what, mother? To do physical therapy? Oh, the other knee. Got it. All right, well, you need the time anyway. Get that knee that just had surgery working real good. You got time to worry about the other knee. All right, it's no rush to get to the other knee. Although I know that the other knee is really, really hurting you, but you still have some time. Okay, don't rush it. Get yourself together. Anything else y'all want to share? Anybody got anything planned for the weekend that they want to share? I know, Stacy, you said you don't really have any plans. I said I really didn't have any plans outside of going to get waxed, most likely on Sunday, right? I think that's when my girl is in. Other than that, I don't have any plans to do anything specific this weekend. All right, I'm chilling. But you know, my life is very random. Like I say, I don't have plans, and then randomly something might pop up. So I'm on random mode right now. Okay. Anybody else? Stacy, I know you said you don't have any plans this weekend. Blissfully, are you flying out anywhere? You know, I'm trying to stay away from the airlines, and I've been really depressed about that because normally I would have 1 or 2 trips booked by now, and I just can't. I'm just so nervous, y'all. So, you know, I really would like to take a train ride somewhere. But I don't know where. Like, I don't know, maybe Canada. That's a long ass train ride. You know, go to the Niagara Falls. There's a hotel there that I want to stay at. So that's a good option. I don't know. Yes, Cheryl Lee and Stacy. This is what I'm talking about. Listen, I'm going to text Cheryl. I'm going to text you and Stacy, okay? And link y'all up on text message on the phone so that y'all have each other's phone number, okay? Cheryl Lee, make sure you link up because you know Mark and Ghost, they be fraud. They be like, I'm coming over to hang out, or I'm going to come over to pick you up, or I'm going to come and chill, and they never show the fuck up. They don't. You see, they know I call them out with love. I mean, I'm going to bring you to the accountability table. Stop saying let's hook up and you don't really mean it. The fuck? So as soon as the show is over, I'm going to text the both of y'all so that y'all have each other's number. How about that? And when y'all hook up, send me a goddamn picture. Okay, send me a goddamn picture. Pinky swear? Because this is what I'm talking about. Coffee with Friends is a family, okay? We are a family. So if we are in your town, in your city, in your state, let's hook up. Let's meet up. Do something. Eat something. Sip something. I don't the fuck know. Something. And Cheryl Lee, bring your bathing suit because Stacy got a pool. I'm pretty sure your daughter probably got a pool too. I'm not sure. But Stacy building got a pool. So if y'all just want to lounge around by the pool, yes, I'm planning for Stacy's house. I don't know, Stacy, don't cuss me out. But I'm planning for the house. You know, they got grills and shit out there. Bring your bathing suit, you know, chill, you know, bring a bottle of what you drink. And y'all just sit out there with y'all sippy cups by the pool and chill. And send me a goddamn picture. Yes! Yes! Yes, Shirley. Yes. Please do it. Yes. Set that shit up. See, now I'm jealous. I need to come to Houston. I'm jealous. I want to come too. Yes, I love that idea. Link up with, Shirley, I'm going to link you and Stacy. I'm going to leave it up to you, Shirley, to reach out to Debbie and Fancy and coordinate that part since you are in Texas. All right. I'm just going to pass on Stacy's information so that you have her contact information so that y'all can link up. Now, remember, Stacy doesn't drive. So I don't know, Shirley, if you want to swing by and pick her up. She lives in Montrose, okay? I don't know how far Montrose is from the Galleria area, but that's where she live, okay? And like I said, bring your bathing suits, okay? Tell Fancy and Debbie to bring their bathing suits too, and all of y'all can lounge over by Stacy Pool. And then y'all can go to the comedy show and y'all could do whatever y'all want. I'm just saying. Then y'all can go in her house and drink her liquor. Right? This is what I'm talking about. And send me a picture. All right? And so that is great news. So I'm going to go ahead and move towards closure of the show because I have work to do, y'all. I got work to do. It's Friday. I got work to do. All right? But always move with peace and love. And I love the fact that you guys, you know, y'all really rock together. And I love that. All right. So I'm going to send y'all out with a reminder that even when you feel low, you can still what? And you get the whole
even
song
when you
today.
Feel low, you can still go.
Yes.
Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
And I don't. I'm hard-headed as fuck. This is Coffee with Friends, and I am raw to D-Bone. Come back Monday, y'all. Have a safe weekend and move with peace and love. Get this message.
I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave.
Hey!
To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way.
I did. I responded in the group text. I loved it. Thank you, Cheryl. Yes, Hillbilly said stock up. Life is about to get expensive.
You can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredients. Never see with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never ran, sitting no, man, I still go.
You get the whole song today. Huh?
Go, 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 go.
Hey!
Go, 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 go.
You got a mind.
But even that can change. You can flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain.
Hey!
That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst I say and turn it to a game. Take the best I say and put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain.
Hey!
Never slow yourself down, you can do some more.
Hey!
Push past all the pain and you find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before.
What?
And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
And I told y'all, I'm out until Monday. Peace.
Go, 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 no, still go, 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 so you still go, go, no hope, still go, I know me, so no, still go.